Howdy y'all, and welcome back to I Am Abled because I Am is Able. Now, the whole point of part of this video series is to talk about my recovery journey and also, as the name implies, like what ways God is enabling me in my spiritual and physical journey in my recovery. So today I wanted to talk to you about one of those battles and kind of how I've been working through that or lack thereof. And that struggle is how to know if I'm trusting God in everything versus when He is sometimes trying to give me wisdom not to put myself in this bad situation, whether it's because I'm not physically able to handle that situation, or whether I'm not spiritually able to handle that situation or emotionally able to handle that situation. All three of those things can sometimes rear their ugly heads during times of recovery, and sometimes it's important to push through those things, and God gives you the strength to confront those challenges. And other times, God's trying to give me or those I know wisdom about maybe this isn't the right time to do this yet. You're not ready yet. Let's just kick back and I'll tell you when you're ready. And figuring that balance out is really, really difficult. And sometimes it comes down to priorities, but sometimes all of the priorities feel at the exact same level. And this past weekend was really, really tricky. I had a lot of things that I really, really wanted to do. And not just like because they were fun, but also because some of the things were healthy for my friendships. Like, I hadn't seen some of these friends in a long time, and I really wanted to invest in those friendships again. And some of these things were like going to church and going to a worship night. And all of them seemed like definitely equal priority. So counting out the priority issue wasn't helpful. And all of them seemed wise to go to, except for the fact that going to all of them in the same weekend did not seem wise. So I really struggled with this. And with one particular situation, it was that I had already kind of overdone it during the weekend, like a 3 or 4 day period. And I was invited to a night of worship slightly out of town. And I felt trapped. I felt trapped if I stayed home. I felt trapped in fear. And if I went there, I felt trapped there because I would have had to get a ride and my parents wouldn't be able to stay with me if I needed to leave really quickly. And so I called one of my friends because I knew I couldn't juggle all these thoughts in my own head on my own. I was going through what I called that day a mental storm. I couldn't piece out the right thoughts. And so I called my friend and I laid it all on the table for her and said, "Can you help me think through this?" basically. And she was really, really helpful. First of all, she asked me like why certain things were important and tried to help me talk through and see if I could evaluate it that way. And then when it still came out totally even, and when it was pretty much down to that feeling of trapped in fear, she helped me. And she said, "You know what? I'm going there too. How about, if you're cool with it, you can either go to my car if you need somewhere to just escape to, or I can even take you somewhere." And that simple act of just calling my friend and like her, first of all, being heard, even before she gave me a solution, just feeling heard really, really helped. So if you're out there and you have a friend going through this, just hear them out and try to maybe help them navigate the process if you can with good questions, not always with solutions. Sometimes questions first is best, and this time it was. And then offering this act of service was so load off my mind. And so I ended up going, and it was a wonderful experience. I'm super glad I went. Did I end up needing her help? No, actually. I stayed longer than I expected. It went super well, and I'm really sore afterwards. I possibly overdid it by doing so much that weekend, so I'm praying I don't pay for it. We'll see. But emotionally, I'm not paying for it at all. I am so glad I went. So yeah, those are the different like balancing acts that occur fairly constantly when dealing with recovery, because sometimes recovery can be steady and it just keeps getting better, especially with bones. Like, you can kind of tell during different parts of your recovery how much your body is able to take. But when you're dealing with a long-term recovery, what they call chronic pain issues, and especially something that is constantly up and down, like nerve damage, it's really, really hard to try and find this balance of like, what am I just overthinking, and what am I not thinking enough about that could actually hurt me physically if I did too much? So this is the current struggle of balance that I'm trying to figure out. And if you're wondering what's holding me back currently, it would be that and pain struggles. So yeah. Anyways, I gotta go now, but thanks for keeping up with my journey. I'm sorry, I just saw my dog over there. Let's see, can you see him? He's in his satellite dish, as I call it. He's in his own recovery right now. He's a cutie boy. All right, so that's all for now. What is something that you struggle balancing in life that either emotionally or physically is just a real struggle for you? Let's talk it out. Bear each other's burdens. God bless. Ciao for now. Thanks. Bye.